Yeah, it's like EA Play, Game Pass, same thing. He said, man, fuck Ubisoft. Yo, shout out to Rise of Ronin. I don't know why that shit's so funny. Man, fuck Ubisoft, man. That's fucking funny.
As the old order crumbles, chaos begets the new.
Ubisoft Plus for Mirage was the best move I ever made. See, he didn't pay, you know, 60, 70 bucks for it. He just paid 20.
For some, revenge.
Who's ready? Rise of Ronin next week.
The suffering they have endured.
Yeah, Mirage was ass. I didn't like it.
Break this sacred pact.
Mirage was so weird too, because if you followed the consensus online, like if you watch YouTube videos and like looked at tweets and shit, people either loved or hated Mirage. There was no in between, and I was in the hate. I was in the hate bracket. To the people who loved it, I don't understand why. I don't. That game was not good.
Pursuit.
Yeah, AC is back.
A noble cause.
Been hearing mixed things about Rise of Ronin. I only watched one preview for it a few days ago. IGN got some early hands-on time. They were very high on it. But I seen a video on my sub box from Miss 5000 Watts. Shout out to her. Heard the title of it was Rise of Ronin is concerning. What are some negative things you've heard about it? I haven't seen anything negative about it. It looks fire to me.
Fate is shaped by our own hands.
Shout out to Zero Blade with the sub.
What future
I can now ditch the janky
will
plane
you
and fly
forge?
first class on Spirit Airlines.
All the gameplay I've seen, I've liked what I saw. I've heard it's not terrible, but it's not impressive. All the gameplay I've seen, I felt like it looked good.
Okay,
but...
so this is a game that Team Ninja is making?
All right, let's see. This is a Rise of Ronin waiting room. You know it. I've only heard about the graphics, but who cares? Yeah, that's the only negative thing I've heard is like, oh, the graphics are ass. I'm not playing the game. I'm like, bro, it's a new IP. I'm playing it. The gameplay looks good. Fallout 76 Season 16 Duel with the Devil? Oh, shit. Who's ready to go back to West Virginia?
It is time yet again.
Who is playing this game?
Exciting journey with Rip Daring.
Join me, Rip Daring, on another exciting cryptid hunt.
So this is going to be Suicide Squad soon? Nah, this has survived years. You'd be surprised, TBH? I want to know what happened to the clowns from outer space. I forgot about that shit. This game has got to be making the money because they ain't shut the servers down. Me since I live in West Virginia. Oh, shout out to the representation. You should watch Fighting Cowboys video on Rise of Ronin.
There you are.
Let me stop acting like I care about this shit. I'm gonna assume it's this one because it's 4 days ago.
What is
appreciate it,
happening?
JP.
Here, and today we are going to be bringing you some early impressions of Rise of the Ronin. Now, what you're seeing before you is some B-roll footage supplied by PlayStation, so big thanks to them. And what I'm going to be sharing is my experiences based on...
That is a red flag right there. I'm not gonna lie. Why couldn't he use his own footage? Why are we using B-roll?
The first 2 to 3 hours of the game.
Supplied.
Through like the opening tutorial, did a little bit of free roam, and made it into the first town. You'll see bits and pieces of that in the B-roll footage. But I'm glad I'm getting a chance to bring some early footage to y'all and talk about the game, because I know a lot of people have been excited about this, and personally, I think it's not going to live up to the hype.
Say it ain't so.
Now, let me explain. Obviously, I am a...
What's wrong with B-roll? It's a red flag because if you see, he said in the beginning of the video, he's gotten hands-on time and he's talking about his personal experience, but they didn't let him record it. To me, that's a red flag because they're trying to control what goes out. It says to me it might have bugs and glitches, basically. So instead of letting people show the footage, because like the reason I didn't have footage for Dragon's Dogma 2 is because my shit got corrupted, but they allowed us to. That's kind of typical. When you go to these events, they do allow you to record, but if they don't, and they bring you in to play it, and then you go home and we'll email you some footage, to me, that kind of sus. Yeah, it's scripted versus letting people do whatever they want.
Big fan of Team Ninja. Neo 2 is my all-time favorite Souls-like. Wolong, even though it didn't vibe with me the way Neo 2 did, still had a blast with Wolong, played through all the DLCs. Stranger of Paradise, despite the miscomings with how the difficulty worked in there, still a lot of fun to play with the multi-class system. And when I think about Team Ninja's games, the one thing that stands out to me, more than anything else, is combat. They always have an incredibly high combat
Agreed.
skill ceiling.
Ninja
It's a little
Gaiden.
bit hard to pick up at first, but once you master it, there are very few games that feel as good as Team Ninja games do when you're engaging with the combat. And to start, that's probably one of the biggest downsides I see with Rise of the Ronin. Now, it's not that the combat's bad. It's not bad at all, actually. The parry timing is very tight. The combos are flashy. You got some special abilities on weapons. But with what I've come to expect of Team Ninja, this is absolutely a step backwards from the previous titles. Now, to break this down a little bit, your entire weapon's default combo.
You could just watch a
is
summary
performed by
online,
just pressing
Barry.
square. In fact, there's actually an accessibility setting where with one square press, you'll go through your entire combo. Besides that, you hit triangle to perform your parry. Well timed. You can hit L1 to block. There is still a mechanic that's similar to key pulsing. Basically, as you attack, you build up blood on your blade. If you press R1 after attacking, you'll throw the blood off your blade and get back some of your stamina or some of your ki. And then besides that, while you are holding R1, you have special abilities that you can do with your weapon. So in my current playthrough, I'm using dual swords, and I have one that's very similar to Windstorm from Neo 2.
Do y'all care that? Yeah, because I mean, Final Fantasy 16 was like that. Why y'all trying to ruin my hype for this game?
Another that like puts both swords in front of you and then charges forward and hits the target. A couple of the
I gotta see how it feels.
use cases, but for the most part, it's just kind of flavor of the month. Pick what you want. At least early on. I do want to stress that this is all my impressions, just based on the first few hours of the game. And given we do have a stance system, I've gotten to a point where I've gotten like a second stance now, and that starts to open up. But the stance system is very rock, paper, scissors. So I guess a good example is with my dual blades. A lot of the stuff I'm fighting, I just have a disadvantage with. If I switch to an Adachi that has an additional stance unlocked, that gives me an advantage. And so it's like, oh, well, I might as well use this Adachi that has the stance advantage. But each of those stances will have different special abilities.
He said his
It's a play
Dragon's
style
Dogma
for
day one.
basically holding square. But at the end of the day, the basis of the combat is just one button.
That's why we need
pressing
demos.
square. You have
Agreed.
to have good timing with your parries and whatnot, and you do have those special abilities with the weapons. I can't
I feel like what confuses me too, like with these companies not doing demos. Why not do a demo for like let's say right this section right here? This is what he said he got to play, even though this is B-roll footage. Why not like a week before the game comes out? Give the creators and journalists a couple weeks early access, and then a week before the game comes out, let people play the build that the journalists got to play. Make that the demo. There's already footage of it online, so it's not like anything is being spoiled. I feel like that's a good workaround.
but feel that coming into this game and looking at this based on the experience I had with subsequent titles, stuff like Neo, Wolong, and Stranger of Paradise, I can't help but feel that this is a step backwards. Now, at the same time, it certainly makes the combat more accessible, and it'll definitely make it appeal to a larger variety of people. But as somebody that typically gravitates towards Team Ninja's games because I want that super high intense combat where I'm rotating through my various stances to execute different combos and different moves, at least early on, it doesn't feel
Also,
like a set
my
of
help
combos
gamers who
that
don't know what
even
they're
with
doing,
the stances
yeah.
and the different specials I get, the specials I've done so far, they feel, I don't know, lackluster to an extent. So I
It
did
feels like the gist of this argument so far is the game is too easy compared to other Team Ninja games, because like in the past they've made Ninja Gaiden and Neo, which are tough games that required you to use all the tools in your repertoire. My only thing is like I feel like I got to get hands-on time with it, even if the game is, because me personally, I don't need every game to be fucking hard. I already went into this knowing this is not a Souls like, and it kind of feels like he had a preconceived notion he wanted it to be more Souls like. I was already under the impression this was more of an action game, more of like a power fantasy. So as long as it makes me feel like a cool motherfucker, and the different stances are cool, then it's fun to me. It's still like 50-50. Like I think you still have to take into consideration what he's saying. Liza P.
because this is, when I
Liza
think
P
about these
is-
games, that's the biggest thing to me. When I'm playing Neo 2, it's
There's a
about what's the
difficulty
basic combo
pick.
I can do.
True.
Moving on from there, the
Could just
open
make
world
it harder for
also
yourself.
Just kind of average. And I think one of the thoughts I had while I kept playing this is I would put this game in direct competition with Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost was a PS4 exclusive when it released. Samurai Adventure, open world. This is a PS5 exclusive Samurai Adventure, open world. And even just looking at this footage right here, like this,
Why does the horse
does
look
not
so weird?
remotely stack up to what Ghost of Tsushima looked like. And there's inspiration from a lot of games. There's obviously some inspiration from Ghost here. There's a little bit of inspiration from Elden Ring with like the open world Souls-like type vibe. Yes, the game does have Souls-like aspects where you drop your experience on death and enemies respawn. There's even a little bit of Sekiro inspiration with, the big emphasis on parries and how that is a huge part of the game, which was also the case in Wolong. But as I played through this, I couldn't help but feel like every game that it had taken inspiration from had done it better before. And it's really disappointing to me, I guess, in that case, because from what I played, like there's nothing fundamentally bad about this.
Yo,
Yo,
Hunter, chill.
There's the Neo-esque type loot system that you have going on, and there is a lot to enjoy here. There's a big open world. It's full of different activities that you can run around. There's good traversal options. There's the glider, the rope, which you're seeing right now in the footage, and there is plenty of stuff to enjoy here.
It looks fun to traverse. I don't know.
Perspective and a world engagement perspective, this just feels very, very dated. And I know I already brought it up before, but bringing back the Ghost of Tsushima example, it seems like it just did everything this game wanted to do, but better, and it was older. And I haven't even touched on the graphics yet. Y'all know I'm not a big big graphics snob. You know, I play indie games all the time. Graphics is usually the thing that I'm least concerned with. And honestly, I think the graphics here are a step back from Wo Long and Neo 2. I don't know if it's because they stretch their scope further, trying to make it into an open world adventure, but the graphics are not very good in this game.
Yeah, this shit.
While I'm not somebody that
by the way,
complains about graphics, we are looking at a single console exclusive. This is only coming out on the PS5. It's not like they had to develop this for, you know, PC, PS5, PS4, Series S.
I don't
Series
think
X.
people realize Team Ninja video games always prioritize gameplay over graphics
than other games. That
to be fair, though, his first point that he brought up is he loves previous Team Ninja games, and like he feels like it's a disappointment the gameplay because there's not as much depth. So like I don't feel like your argument is fair to what he's saying. I feel like he is being fair. This is like just his opinion. This doesn't make me mad. I feel like he's just trying to be objective as possible.
Came out even in the PS4 generation. And I get it, you know.
I don't get a vibe like this guy has an agenda.
Looking at those games, they're not typically known for graphics. You know, graphics is the least of my concerns when I'm playing Wo Long or when I played Neo 2. But in the context of...
I personally don't care about the graphics either.
I want to be engrossed in that world. I want to feel like it's alive. I look at stuff like Ghost of Tsushima. I look at stuff like Cyberpunk. And the worlds are just beautiful to just run around in and experience. And one of the things I consistently felt as I was running around this world is that everything is very flat. I don't know if it's the way the lighting is done, but there's something with the color palette here that gives everything this very just flat feel to it. I don't know. It doesn't feel alive. It just feels like I'm just running places. It doesn't feel like I'm experiencing a world. And that's definitely an area that I think this greatly could have been improved. Especially because, like I said, this is, I mean, open world samurai game. It's in, you know, it's essentially in direct competition with Tsushima. And Tsushima was gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful to get in and explore.
Pet the cat.
It feels like I've gone back to like PS3 generation in terms of the exploration. Like right here, this is a good example of it during the little flight path here. Like looking out into the distance, like I can see textures and stuff, but like look at the water, look at the grass. Nothing feels alive here. It just feels like a background almost.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fair criticism. Like there's like nothing going on. There's no, you notice there's no NPCs walking around. There's probably nothing to interact with. It's just big for no reason. I think he's trying to make the argument that the open world doesn't add anything to the gameplay. And that's always I don't mind open world. The issue is there's too many open worlds where it doesn't add anything to it.
And, you know, I don't think that's an issue when I play Neo because I'm so focused on the combat and the loot that I'm not terribly worried about the environments. But in an open world game, that is an area that is important to me. I want to feel engrossed in the world. And unfortunately, I just did not feel that while I was going through here. Some other things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like them water textures from a distance look hella ash.
really do. I should have mentioned it earlier when we were on the horse, but go back and watch what it looks like while we're riding a horse. And it is weird. It feels like the horse is on a stick that's just pushing it along the way the feet kick off. In terms of map activities, so typically what's going to happen is you're going to find an area in the map and you're going to kill some bandits that are there. After that, that's going to open up the town.
Arceus looks better. Yeah, all right, bro.
And then as you complete those activities, your like bond or your trust in that region goes up, and even more activities start popping up. So that's a little bit weird the first time you experience it, because I was like, okay, I'm ready to move on from this zone, and I did some stuff, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, here's 3 more guys you can fight. And I'm like, wait a minute, I just went over there to fight somebody. Where did this come from? So I mean, there's definitely lots of stuff to do. There's lots of activities. You know, there's mini games.
This whole might just end up being a 7.5.
Assassinations and whatnot, but everything.
Yeah, it still looks good to me. Like despite what he's saying, but what he's describing is what I'm getting from this video is don't expect a 10 or like even a 9.5, maybe a 7 or an 8, like 8 at best. That's what I'm getting out of this video.
It feels very dated. It feels like, you know, I don't know. It doesn't. It sure as hell doesn't feel like a PS5 exclusive game. I'll say that. This
Hello,
is,
my friend.
You know,
Thank
not
you.
Stacking up to other games in the PS5 exclusive era.
About?
And I think the thing is, like I said, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's just his opinion. The game could still be
are
great.
very responsive. The attack animations look great, as expected of Team Ninja. You know, we have stuff like the Azuna drop and stuff like our EI stance. All that stuff comes in later, but we've seen it in footage. So the stuff that I've come to love in Neo, those abilities do exist in this game. But it feels, playing this, I feel like, man, I really think I would have preferred Neo 3. And I think especially in a year that's so stacked with RPGs. You know, we have Rebirth that just came out. We have Dragon's Dogma about to be on deck. We have the Elden Ring.
This is scary. It's coming out next week.
We have.
I don't know if it's scary because if this shit is ass, Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out the same day.
Somewhere.
Don't worry, they'll remaster it for the PS6.
Right around,
Oh,
right before a
shit.
lot of that stuff. And it just feels very dated in both its visuals and its design. You know, you can see this fight here. This is very reminiscent of Sekiro for me, with, you know, getting some.
It does look like Sekiro.
Dodging the perilous or looking to get a time to parry on the perilous.
Is that bad though?
Sekiro influence in these fights. It feels more Sekiro than it feels Wo Long, in my opinion.
The Sekiro not win Game of the Year? Is that bad? That's why I said it is just his opinion, and I do feel like some of his opinion is being skewed by his preconceived notions of what he wanted it to be versus what it actually is.
But I think Sekiro did that better. Looking at
Like,
the
when did
exploration,
Sekiro become a bad
Ghost of
thing?
Tsushima did that better. Looking at the raw combat, I think their own games. I
Dude,
think
shout the Yums with the sub. Appreciate it.
You've got
And,
one loyal fan base.
You know, this. I think if you're just
Although
looking for an
not as
open world
loyal as
samurai game and
Amy's
you're not worried about
dumbass
it
is to
being a
me.
little bit dated on some of the stuff, I think you'll still find enjoyment here. I think there's definitely some fun to be had with playing this. But if you're going into this thinking, you know, this is going to be the next step up from Neo or the next step up from Bolong, I think you're going to be disappointed because there are quite a few areas that I think were a step backwards from what we've seen recently from Team Ninja.
But he's
Speaking
saying
a little bit
Sekiro
about
did
the
it better.
multiplayer, I know
True.
it's been a big thing for people. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I can confirm the multiplayer is not just multiplayer free roam. It's in missions. So there's going to be like specific key missions in the game. You'll probably have an NPC along with you, and at the start of that mission,
Comparison ruins games, in my opinion.
and summon
Yeah, I think people do it, including myself, to help people better understand things. It's just an easy way to articulate because most people aren't that bright. You got to keep in mind, at least in America, the average reading level is like 8th grade. So like you got to use words and sentence structures that everybody can appeal to. It can appeal to everybody because at the end of the day, he is a content creator. That's his goal, to get that viewership, baby.
into the game and then bring them along on that mission. And then when that mission's done, you know, just like another Ronin, they would go about their way and you would go about
I didn't play Sekiro. Was it
like
linear?
Sort
Sort of. Sekiro was semi-open world. You could explore, but it wasn't like crazy exploration. You would never get lost. You knew where to go, but like, you know, it was just enough exploration. Kind of like, I would say, like if you played like the Outer Worlds, it was kind of like that, or Crisis 3, like semi-open world.
Like 3 sub-leaders and then a main leader. And then after that mission was done, I got rewards, yada yada. Some other stuff to touch on.
It's actually 6th grade. Ronald Reagan will pay for his crimes.
I'd actually start with English, but everyone speaks English, but with like a Japanese twang to it. So it's just like Japanglish, which after a while is a little bit weird. And it made me really miss what they did in the Neo franchise, where English characters spoke English and Japanese characters spoke Japanese. You don't see that a lot in games, and I think it's a really cool approach that I was hoping they would have done here, but unfortunately not.
All right, buddy.
Combat sound effects are all excellent, though, as you'd
I'm not gonna
expect.
keep throwing this.
Music is about on par with what I'd expect from Team Ninja. And given, you know, all this is very much just early impressions. This is only based off of my first 2 to 3 hours of the game. You know, maybe the
Yeah, keep in mind too, we don't know where he was in the game. This could have been early. This could have been the build he played could have been early. He didn't have access to a lot of abilities or some of the mechanics and stuff. That's why somebody said in the chat earlier, you got to take it with a grain of salt. That's also why I stated in my Dragon's Dogma 2 video, what I played was great, but it was also a vertical slice. Take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, like the first 2 hours, you're not going to have like a lot of abilities.
Someone just followed you, just like how my loser ass follows Sonic everywhere.
Shout out to the follow.
combat. It's way more
What
depth.
if exclusive?
Really opens up. But from what I had a chance to play so far, honestly, I just don't see this game performing very well this year. You know, it's a very stacked year. It's a stacked year in terms of just open world games, let alone, you know, everything that's coming out. And it just feels like everything
that is
they're
true. It's a
trying
lot
to
of
do
open
here
world.
is dated, and it's been done better by
Tails is a bum. I
some of those
agree.
predecessors being from Team Ninja. So, you know, I'm gonna have
All right, buddy, I'm done. I quit.
Launch
This is
to
the
give you a
last
better
one.
idea,
Shout
but
out to that
unfortunately, this
nigga
one
in the
just
chat
vibing
for
with me.
resubscribing. It's rough out here, so you a real ass.
In this
nigga
Rise of the
for
Ronin
that,
video,
my
I'm going to be
nigga.
talking about my first.
Yo, shout out to him. Fucking I hate this autoplay shit. I swore I turned it off.
What is happening?
I wish I would have got early access to it. Shout out to Flight and Cowboy. He's cool. He can get a sub. I'll watch his shit. I like him. It's in direct competition with Power World. All right, bro. I'm going to use the bathroom again. Get the fuck out of here. Power World. Till it's over. Tomorrow it's over. Somebody's happy. You gonna give me a hug? What a great guy. Look at that smile. All right, get off me, bro. I'm streaming. What a smart guy. I feel like Sekiro should not come up because it's different. Bro, these new notifications, they're normal. The autoplay is on in the bottom right next to this. You see? Autoplay, is it? When did that shit turn on? Good luck, I turned it off. Xbox wireless controller revealed. Read the comments. Wireless controller reveal? I thought they already had one. What the fuck? Xbox wireless controllers official evaluate the game. Coming exclusively to Xbox, the Xbox controller Power Rangers. What's the more controllers than I knew I was gonna say that. Weren't they already wireless? Oh shit, that's fucking funny. With the 5 in hand, you can summon the Megazord. Oh shit, that's fucking funny. Oh my god. Voltron. It is a Voltron ass Power Rangers trailer, bro. It's morphin' time. Mastodon! Pterodactyl! The black guy! And I'm the Green Ranger. With our powers combined. Captain Planet the Controllers! That shit is great. Yeah, fire the marketing team. What is this? Like, this does not make me want to go out. This is such a waste of money and like, they really hired somebody to fucking edit this shit. This does not make me want to go out and buy a controller. Controllers are one of those things where, like, unless it's like a pro controller with like some new features on it, it doesn't need a commercial. This is just the regular.
This should be enough money for TBH to cop a brick from Dr. Eggman.
Yo, shout out to Cams with the sub. This is a regular ass controller in different colors. This is gonna sell itself when people see it in stores. Okay. Oh, dude, I really wish I could get it. You know, everything I fucking controller. I'm gonna say that for later. Sonic the Hedgehog. We gotta get on this game because I've been yapping for almost 2 hours. Sonic the Hedgehog. Angry Birds. Who's excited? Come play the crossover event of the year. Sonic. Around at the speed of sound. My bitch is getting on my nerves. She's saying I owe some child support. I said that baby ain't my bitch. Get out my face. Amy is a fucking whore. She sucked on my friends a little more. What is that? All right, let's do it. Sonic, they got shot. What the fuck am I looking at? Follow me on social media. I'm not playing this shit. Crossover event of the year. How did this happen? Sonic the Hedgehog and Angry Birds. Sonic and Angry Birds have combined forces for the ultimate mobile crossover event of a lifetime. 5 mobile games will have new events that see Sonic and Angry Birds crossing over into each other's games. 5 different games. So, wow, they're doing 5 different crossovers. I don't give a fuck about a single one of them. We're out of there. Call of Duty Warzone Mobile. Who's ready? Hell is hot. Call of Duty commercials always crack me up because, like, somebody's really watching, like, wow, whoa, this shit is crazy. Mind-blowing shit. I'm ready for Warzone. You ready for people to cheat with mouse and keyboard with an emulator? Where's the Eminem music? No Eminem? James Brown? I can play Warzone Mobile on my controller. Pause every 2 a.m. All right, guys, Warzone Mobile. Who connecting their Xbox or PlayStation controller to their phone to play? Real Call of Duty action. I wonder if this will be better than the base game, the PC console version, or tablet. Do you know whether or not it's been confirmed if there will be bots in this? That's one thing I didn't like about PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile. Like Call of Duty Mobile, if you haven't played it, they trick you because like your first 10 matches you're playing against bots, so you'll be dropping like 30, 40 bombs thinking you're good, and then they put you in lobbies with real people afterwards. You'll be getting bodied and shit. Niggas really be playing on mouse and keyboard and controller. PC, mobile, console. What? It's launching on all 3, or they were just saying that the old ones are Free to play. Is it out now? How you like me now? Rewind back. You missed it. More microtransactions. More live service. Oh, it's crossplay? Is it? Is that what it was saying? I turned this fucking shit off. Why is it playing? You see what I'm talking about? YouTube is like bugged. It started playing another. I did not click this fucking video. You can play with other people. Have you seen the other guy on TikTok playing PUBG Mobile on this like suit? He got an Iron Man suit to play PUBG Mobile. Franklin, the official Apple TV show.
You are
who you say you are, a superstar. So have no fear. I'm done.
I am Benjamin Franklin. The Congress has sent me here as a representative of the United States.
Yeah, YouTube said you're gonna watch some of our videos.
To enlist France in our war against England. America requires men, money, and arms. Without your aid, the United States will end before it has begun.
Grandfather, how long must we stay?
Until we win France to our side, or we are hanged.
Is there a third choice?
Diplomacy must...
I hope they do a scene with like, because it wasn't he the one that had the kite and doing the electricity shit? I hope they do a scene where he's flying the kite and the electricity zaps him and then he becomes Black Lightning. Ah! And then he stands up. It's a slow cut, and now he's a black man. Like, what the fuck?
There will be a siege.
Static?
We both know you are trouble.
You're up to something.
I am plotting to deliver ships to the United States.
No, you're up to something else.
We have made an offer.
Beware the Frenchman's promise.
Is everything all right?
Shit.
Possibly not.
This is so funny because they all look so clean. These people were dirty.
Someone is spying on us.
Red coats.
France has nothing to gain joining with America. The British will defeat you. It may cost us. But it will cost you more.
If the price is...
I just want y'all to know too, in the midst of all, honestly, the show doesn't look bad, but in the midst of all this show, I just want you guys to know that this will be a revisionist history of Franklin and the American Revolution. There will not be 1 ounce of mention of slavery, niggas, Crispus addicts, beating women up. That sounds terrible out of context, but there will be no mention of what was actually going on in this timeline. Hypocrisy. Freedom for give me liberty, give me what Dave Chappelle say? Give me liberty, give me death. And then he's like, get in the back and make me a sandwich, nigga. Like there will be no historical accuracy. It's just gonna prop this man up.
Pay it. I don't know who I can trust.
And motherfuckers, the go woke, go broke people will praise this shit. Historical accuracy, just making America good, just made us look good. Good, wholesome Christian values in this movie. Really represented what was going on. And that's why he's on the $100 bill, bro. Because he was the first Black Lightning. It was based off DC Comics, guys.
I'm here to help my country.
See where all the people he stole ideas from.
Who are you really?
You got one black person in there. This is the one black person. And she running. Is this a runaway slave? Also, why they got her all dolled up, bro? I ain't never seen no slave look like that. What the fuck is going on in this shit?
Who are you?
Historical accuracy.
You are what the role requires you to be.
He was a gambler.
This is a dangerous game.
That's just the sort of game I like.
Damn, they said Ben was always playing chess. Jokes aside, the show doesn't look bad. It looks like it's got good acting in it. Who knows? Maybe I'll watch it. The American Society of Magical Negroes is at 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. You sound surprised. Fuck that movie. Once the plot came out, no, we're not watching that shit. And I'm not gonna lie, shame on anybody who goes to see that shit. Fucking, for those who don't know the plot of that movie, the Secret Society of Magical Negroes, people were thinking originally it was gonna be like a Black Harry Potter, like some empowering fucking magic movie with black people. No, the premise of the movie is there's like a secret society of black magicians, And instead of using their power for good or to uplift the community, they decided we're going to find a way to use our powers to make white people comfortable. That's one of those things is like, how did that leave? What? I don't. How did that leave the writing floor? What's the plot? What is that about? Like, who's the villain? What are we talking about, right? Fucking. They should have called the movie Magical House Niggas. That's what that shit is, bro. You said what? Look it up, bro. Look it up. That's the plot of the movie. I'm like, huh? This is not a superhero movie? Like, I don't know. Me personally, if I was like a white person, that shit would make me uncomfortable too. Going to see a movie called The Secret Society of Magical Negroes, and it's not a superhero movie, but it's a movie like basically pushing like slavery, but with magic people. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, shuck it and jive at the magic movie. That shit is weird. And you know what sucks about that movie especially? Yeah, tap dance in the movie. You know what sucks about that movie too, really? Is we already have an issue in film where they're not doing new IPs. The same thing with like games, right? We keep we're tired of Marvel movies. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't give a fuck what James Gunn is doing. Like, will I go see it? Maybe. Gotta see a trailer first. Like, I think people are reaching, I think that's why Dune is doing so well. I think we're reaching a point in cinema where people want to see new movies, new cult classics. And that's a new IP. And people in Hollywood suits are going to look at that and say, see, we greenlit the Magical Negroes and it did so well. Like, that shit was ass in the first place. Who greenlit that shit, bro? Yeah, the title is crazy too. But they knew what they were doing with the title. The title was supposed to be controversial. And it was going to drum up. Because I guarantee you if the title was like The Secret Society of Magic Folks or something like that, it wouldn't have drummed up. That was 100% a marketing play. They knew what they were doing by putting Negroes in the title. Because now we're talking about it. But honestly, fuck that movie, bro. I'm not looking at that shit. It literally says, make white people's lives easier. It's just weird. It's weird across the board. Whether you're black, white, Asian. Like, what's the entertainment value of that? Boo, boo.
Boost your time.
I'd rather watch 12 Years a Slave. And y'all know I hate that fucking movie. Boo. I want to see that shit. They had a chance to make an actual movie about black people doing magic and they centered it around. It's just weird, right?
Lines on YouTube.
Like, has Miles Morales not proven we can have a black superhero? Jesus Christ. Blade.
Screens, frames, and more in Channel Booster.
Off topic, you heard of Vindictus Defying Fate? Yeah, it's a sequel to Vindictus. I made a video about that on my channel a long time ago. It's a sequel to it. The game's not out yet, so it'll be interesting when it first comes out. What is this?